Okay. I guess my first question is, when you were younger, what inspired you to want to be a musician? How'd you get interested in music?
Right. So, I hope you're ready for this because it's a little bit of a long story. But actually, I grew up in a family of musicians. My mom is a singer. My my grandfather too. My uncle plays the drums, and they used to have a band with some more people, of course. And I grew up uh, with them. I mean, some of my earliest memories are of going on tour with them. So I used to sleep in guitar cases during the shows. Sometimes I would even doze off on top of speakers. So yeah, I mean, it was something kind of natural to go that way because everyone in my family knew how to play something, and I could sing. ev- I mean, from a very young age, and then my parents gave me a keyboard, a small keyboard, but it was uh, those small ones for children, and I learned how to play Christmas songs when I was like I don't know 7 or something, and then when I turned 12, my mom wanted me to go and learn the accordion, and I didn't want to learn the accordion. Now I would really like it because of folk metal and all, but at the time it wasn't really my jam. And my dad, he actually doesn't play anything. He's a huge music fan, and he just started learning the bass. I'm teaching him. He was like, "Okay, you want to learn the guitar?" And I was, yeah. I mean, the guitar sounds really cool. So I I picked up the guitar when I was 12, and I've been playing it for the past 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what, did you ever take lessons for anything, or you pretty much just
Oh,
came
yeah, yeah.
naturally?
No, I had a bunch of lessons throughout the years. It's it helps, studying with someone. But I had a private teacher when I started when I was 12, and I was the youngest kid in his lesson. I mean, in his class, and all of the other ones attended because we had group lessons and Saturdays in the afternoon, 2 hour lessons, and everyone was much older than me, and he would just strum the guitar and sing along, and I loved that. So my first contact with the guitar was playing and singing, which was really cool. And I don't think it made a year taking lessons with him. I started in September, and in May he stopped teaching because he was a wedding singer. And back then, people still got married like crazy because here in Portugal, people no longer get married like they used to nowadays because it used to be crazy. And for the people who were wedding singers, it was just a huge business. And he stopped teaching because he was just so busy. I went to a music school for 3 years. They were teaching me classical music. I wasn't really into it back then. And then afterwards, I took lessons when I was 16, I think, from a dude in a goth metal band called Secrecy. And I stood like that like for a while. And 5 years later, I took lessons from another guy. He's a very well-known guitarist in Portugal called Paul Bach. He's a virtuoso. He's been around since the 80s. And in 2017, I took a few lessons with Timo Mantisari from Winter Sun. I actually I had one in 2016, a couple in 2017. I think I had others in 2018 or 19. And last year I had one lesson with Azim from Winter Sun as well, because I'm a huge fan. And I've also had vocal lessons since 2015 with Jamie Vandera from the Vandera Vocal Academy. He's the vocal coach for James Labrie of Dream Theater. And now I'm working for him, for his school. I started at the end of 2019, around December. So I've always had lessons, and if I can, I will always have lessons, even though it's my day job, to teach. I teach voice and guitar. Uh, I will always, try to get someone to help me develop um, my technique and my musicianship.
Well, I think that it's wonderful that you've had so many opportunities throughout the years. It sounds like um, you've learned for some very interesting people. Um,
Definitely.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I have a really funny story about Tiago Of Eoten. The first lesson I had with him, it was, I've been playing for a very, very long time, and I've had a lot of bands, and somehow we've never released music. And back in 2016, in December, it was my Christmas gift for myself. My lesson with him. When we started, it was a 1 hour lesson, and uh, it's not exactly pricey for the lesson that it is, but for the currency or the value of money in Portugal, it was a lot. It was like 50 euros, it's like I don't know, $60 or something like that for a 1 hour lesson, and it was kind of steep, for a Portuguese person. So I remember, trying to make the most of it. And I was like, hey, do you mind if I ask you a few questions before we start? And he was, super cool. He's such a nice guy. And just like, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, okay, so here's the deal. I've got a band. Okay, so now what? And he just laughed a little bit. And he just gave me all sorts of advice on what I should focus on, what I should do. And I learned, quite a lot at just in that lesson alone. So it was quite an eye-opening moment for me.
So, since the pandemic and stuff, have you been able to um, make the most of what's going on? Have you gotten more lessons
Yeah,
done? What have you been up to try to make the most of kind of getting
right.
around the restrictions and stuff?
So the thing is, in the beginning of 2020, my life was picking up. I have some issues, some personal issues in 2019. And then I had to relocate, and I lost like half of my students, and that's really, kind of hopeless for the future. And at the beginning of 2020, things really picked up for me. I got uh, asked to join a Portuguese band, a heavy metal band. It's our first. It was founded in 1979. I was born in 1987. So, um, and they asked me to join their band, and it was, huge for me. And I started rehearsing with them, and then COVID hit. A couple of months later, a week after we did our first photo shoot together, and I was like, okay, this is it. They're going to let me go, and stuff is going to, go down the drain once again. Now that it was picking up, but no, actually, I got more done during the pandemic than I did in the rest of my life.
Wow.
So, tomorrow we'll make a 1 year since Eoten released the first single, Kingdom of Immortals. Um, most of my students switched to online lessons. They stuck with it. Um, I've also, been dedicating a lot of time recording stuff for Yoten and Fire Mage as well. Now I'm also recording for that other band that's called Checkmate. Um, so I've been, busier now than I've ever been, and I even feel a little bad about it because everyone is having such a tough time, and I'm at the peak of my career right now. It's everything is happening.
Well, there's no
And,
shame in that. Seems like more good came out of the pandemic than before.
yeah, it's like the whole world had to stop for me to start, doing what I wanted to do, and it was like I don't know, it was an opportunity. I tried to see it that way. My life didn't change that much since I teach at home. I've been working from home for the past few years. So I kept working at home. I was doing it more online than receiving students here uh, to teach them. But when it came to recording music, to practicing and creating music, uh, everything was just the same. But everyone else kind of got the chance to stop. And as soon as we released the first Jotun song in May the 3rd of 2020, we did it, really fast because we started Jotun in 2019. Uh, Aaron was looking for musicians in the folk metal grove um, on Facebook, and I replied, and Jesse did too, and then later Nick and Ricky also joined. Uh, and we were debating ideas for a few months, and we had a song which was a Golden Throne. It was supposed to be our first song, and uh, we just we're gauging everything. But after COVID hit, they were stuck at home, and they were like, "Okay, guys, let's release a song." Just like that. Let's release a song. We need everything ready for it in a month's time. And we did that. And I was recording that song, and I was also recording a an international collaboration for an Epicus cover. We did Sensorium with musicians, all over the world. It was really cool. I was doing that at the same time that we were releasing and recording um, the first Jotun song. And I don't know, stuff started happening and people started paying attention. And because of Checkmate, people in Portugal were also paying attention to me because I was in a very, a band with quite a reputation. And they were asking me, okay, but what are you up to? What are your other projects? I'm in Jotun. They're like, what's Jotun? It's uh, an international project, I guess. We have members from the UK and Ireland, and two guys from Portugal, and people found that really cool because if you look at Europe's map, you see that Portugal is really at the corner, really isolated. We only have Spain next to us, and then you have the rest of Europe, and we are very sidelined on everything. So every time someone from here, gets to do something with people from other countries, everyone is like, if they are doing stuff with foreigners, then they must be okay at least at what they do. And I don't know. After that, I just knew I had to keep going and make the most of this, really weird time that we're going through. So yeah, that was basically what I was trying to go for. And then in October, we released our first single for Fire Mage, which was the band I was trying to put together ever since 2015. It was, the band that I actually had some help from Timo, not only on the strategy but also in a guitar solo. So we managed to release a song, and we've been trying, to keep the momentum up, releasing stuff, and not letting people forget that we exist, and that I find that very important nowadays.
I'm glad that it's been getting better and better for you, and despite the pandemic. Are things opening up there, or is it pretty much still
Right,
locked
it's
down?
no, it's opening up. We had the lockdown up until like February, I think, or March. Then it started gradually, because we are very behind on with the vaccination. But now it's picking up, so stuff is opening up. I mean, you can go to restaurants and to stores. Shopping malls are open, but you still have to wear a mask in the streets. I mean, that's not going away until everyone gets the vaccine. But you don't have to wear a mask at the beach. You have to wear a mask on your way to the beach, but not at the beach. So stuff is opening up, but concerning culture, not so much. I mean, a lot of festivals are being canceled, and the first concerts just started out like a week or 2 weeks ago. So there's a lot of stuff being canceled because I suppose on the money that they will make, that will allow them to pay the musicians and to make another festival next year and to pay all the the expenses that they that an undertaking like that need. Uh, it's just not. It won't cover it because they cannot have a full audience. It
Right.
will have to be like a third or something like that. So um, that will simply not do. So it's best to cancel and to get it back next year. And I'm super bummed out about that because I was really looking forward to seeing some cool bands in our festivals. I was aiming to see Fintroll and Trollfest, uh, and even Demon Warrior. They were coming to Portugal, and they haven't been in Portugal for a very long time. So I was really looking forward to that. And of course, my bands. We don't have gigs because gigs aren't happening.
Right. Well, at least it's getting better than what it was. New York's
Yeah,
opening up too, but New York's
yeah,
kind of got it backwards to where they have a rule where if you're vaccinated, you can go in the store without a mask, but you have to show them proof of your vaccination card.
right.
So, but people are going in the store saying, I'm not going to show you a card and going in without a mask anyway. So that's the problem we're having.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. This is. I think that the pandemic has really brought out the the worst in people, also the best. Okay, I
Right.
think it brought out uh, the extremes, the best and the worst of people, and uh, we have to cope with that. So I just hope you guys are staying safe as much as you can, and hopefully
Yeah,
this
we are.
this will be okay. So because hopefully this will blow over, but it will take a while and it will take a little bit of effort to do that. And unfortunately, it will take longer in my perspective because people are already disregarding a lot of it.
Right. Like, I mean, like I'm vaccinated, but I still wear my mask everywhere it's because just to be safe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not vaccinated yet. Hopefully next month, but that I really think it really helps because just because you're vaccinated doesn't mean you can't catch the virus
Right.
again. So that's something that people should keep in mind because at the end of the day, even if you are young, you are not going to come down with the virus and be super ill. Even though I know some people who were younger than me and had it really rough. You will be spreading it around to people that you might know who are older or have certain conditions, and that will be very bad for them. I, I have a lot of you know breathing issues, like asthma and stuff like that. So I didn't catch the virus, thankfully, but I was being super careful because I don't know if I can bounce back if I catch it. So I'm trying not to die before this thing ends.
Well, it's good that you're being careful. You can't ever be too careful. I mean, I
Yeah.
have two boys, so I certainly wouldn't
Mhm.
want them to catch it because they're not eligible for the vaccine because they're too young. So,
Yeah. And you never know what might do to people on the long run. You know
right.
what sort of sequels it will lead.
So, are you hoping by next year you'll get to play a gig and the pandemic will kind of be calmed
Very.
down?
Yeah, actually, I have a gig this year in December. It will be the first gig for Jotun because we don't know each other. I don't know if you know that, but we don't know each other. We've never been together in the same room. Uh, I mean, I know the keyboard player who plays with me in Fire Mage, and we are friends, and he lives nearby. But I've never been with any of the other guys because they are in England and Ireland, and I think two of them have met in the concert at some point. But I'm just so much looking forward to it because we will be playing HRH Vikings and Ansiferum and Korpiklani will be headlining that, and there'll be a lot of bands there. Metalborn will be Itork, Vanaheim, Metal Castle, and just a lot of awesome people will be there, and I'm so looking forward to it, and especially I'm hoping that I can travel because I don't know if I will be able to travel. So I'm really looking forward towards getting the vaccine.
Well, that was my next question was what bands would you perform with if you could, but I'm sure you probably just listed them because
Yeah, there are other bands. I cannot list the whole thing by heart, but you know just playing it the same festival with Korpiklani and Antiferum and Burning Witches. It will be super cool, and I just hope that it will happen. I'm super hopeful, and it it will probably be a lot of fun to play that because I've been around playing for many years, but I've never did one of those big shows with bands that I actually listen to. So I'm pretty sure it'll be really cool.
Corporate Clowny actually got me into folk metal. I first heard them back in 2015, so
Right.
So that's how I discovered the whole genre, because I was listening to death metal and black
Right,
metal, and
right.
that's the first time I ever heard folk metal. So, and then I found your band after I joined that group, the Folk Metal Grove, and
Yeah, the folk metal group. I mean, the folk metal group is, it's great to discover bands. I mean, there are a lot of cool people there. They're super nice and they're super talented. And I'm putting together like a list of bands that we have there, and I've been listening to their music. I have this playlist, and I sometimes get really impressed with the stuff that we have there and the quality of the musicians that we have. And also, I don't know if you know this, but Yone from Korpikani is in the group. Petri Lindros from Muncie is in the group. And Vrath from Fintroll is in the group too. So uh, we have a lot of notable members. They're not very active, but I know Petri sometimes posts stuff. Uh, so it's really cool. But I'm very glad that you found out folk metal through Korpiklan. Yeah, they are a great gateway band, and they are one of the best. And they are super nice guys. We had a chat, the guys from Eoten and Yone and Samuli a couple of weeks ago on Twitch, and they are super nice. Just really cool people. And we, are really looking forward to grabbing a drink with them at HRH Vikings. But it actually, Korpiklan, it wasn't the first band that I listened to concerning folk metal. It was Fintroll, but it must have been like second. The first song was Wooden Pints, and it was that old sketchy video when the violin
yeah, I
player
saw
comes
that.
out of the garden shed. That was engraved into my memory ever since I saw the video, and that must have been, and I kid you not, like 2004. It was really at the beginning. The first thing I've ever heard of folk metal was Fintroll. It was the song Skogens Ham from their album Jaktensti. And then someone mentioned Korpiklani to me, and I listened to it, and it was really something else. I wasn't prepared for that at the time. Then the third band, I might have listened around 2005. It was Otik, and that Daniel Fredrickson from Otik is actually in the folk metal grove, and he interviewed me in like my first week as an admin.
Wow.
After I joined, like early 2020, like 1-2 weeks, and he reached out, and I spoke with him for a little bit, and he told me, yeah, I was in this band, in the early 2000s called OT. I remember where I was the first time I heard of your band. So it was, super cool to get to know people who influenced me in such a way. Sorry.
Well, I think it's wonderful how you got to connect with so many bands that you listened to and that influenced you and everything. I mean, it seems like amazing that you got to cross paths with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, they are. It's because when you start listening to those bands, it's like they exist. They exist, and you know that they are people, but they don't feel like people to you because they are an idea. They only exist when you listen to them. When you're not listening to them, it's like they are not real. They're not in the world. And then many years go by, and you you meet some of them, and they turned out to be, really cool human beings, and they speak to you, and they recognize you, and they treat you like a person. And your perception of the whole music genre, and how you perceive certain bands, it changes. It really changes you. Something that really changed me, it wasn't just that, but it was after I joined that Portuguese band, Checkmate. It was, thinking that in 1979, and Portugal was, just fresh out of a dictatorship that we had up until 1974. We did not have heavy metal before them. We did not. It was forbidden. And they made the first band. And we go to festivals, and we have dozens, if not hundreds of bands who are, doing something that those people that I play with started. And it makes you feel really small. And of course, you are honored and you are happy, but you feel really, really small. And then you meet people from the international scene, and you are thankful and you are happy, but you feel even smaller after that. Um, but it's quite an experience, especially when you see stuff happening to you. And I couldn't, be more thankful for the folk metal grove and the people there. And they listen to my bands, and they back when I started, when I had my first band in 2004, 2005, I could never, picture myself shipping merchandise to people who listen to my music in the United States, and in Finland, and in Sweden, in Germany. It's something overwhelming when it starts. I suppose at some point, it will, just become normal. But at first, it's it puts everything in perspective, and you feel very happy. And but at the same time, you also feel, kind of tiny. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if this makes sense, but I kind of feel like that.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, they're the bands that you've looked up to throughout your whole
Yeah,
career, and now you're finally having the chance to talk to them and interact with them, and it's just like you're kind of like in awe. You like you can't believe it.
yeah. I mean, when we had the Jotun, Twitch stream with Corporate Clan just a couple of weeks ago, we were supposed to be speaking to Jan, but then Jan contacted Aaron, our guitarist, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I will be bringing Samuli as well." And I'm like, two of them? We are getting to speak with two musicians that we really look up to. And it was something special, as well as having Elliot Vernon from Ailstorm in our song, in Jotun, in the song called Jotun, of Jotun. He sings there, and when you listen to that, and it was I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Lasse Lamert or Lamer. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but he makes the song, and he also makes stuff for Ailstorm and for Glory Hammer. And when you listen to the final mix, and it's more than anything you could have ever imagined, and it's sounding like the bands that you like, and it has one musician of a band that you really like. Uh, it's a very humbling experience, but it's also, very it's amazing. It's really amazing.
Well, I really enjoyed listening to you and listening to your stories and um, what you've been through. I know Zoomoy lets you have a certain amount of time, so I want to ask you
Yeah,
a
yeah,
question before it cuts us off.
yeah, for sure.
I want to ask you, what kind of legacy do you want to leave with your music? What do you want to be remembered for?
Wow, that's that's quite a lot. I don't know, and I tell you this because I'm a singer and I'm a guitarist. I'm the guitarist of Checkmate. I'm the singer for Eoten. I'm the guitarist and singer for Fire Mage. But what I hope that people remember me by is by the music I make, the stories I tell. You know, it's I hope that it touches them in some way and they somehow get inspired or get the urge to do something like I did when I listened to the bands that some of the bands that I listed and others, you know, and I listened to them and I was like, okay, I want to do this. I want to be like them. I want to make people feel like they make me feel. And that's the best thing that you can do, which is not, you know, having people know who you are for the sake of being famous, but for feeling something, you know, when they listen to your music and wanting to do something about it to be better or to create something. If people do that after listening to my bands and to my work with those bands, then I'm a very happy person.
Well, that sounds wonderful. I mean, I like your music. I know you put a lot of work into it, and um, I know people will remember you after you're done making music because it is unique and it is different, and it's got the sound that it sounds like no other. And
Well,
I
thank you.
hope that you put out more music soon, and I hope you do get the chance to play a gig soon because
Yeah,
I know that it
actually,
would be amazing.
yeah. Actually, I'll be putting a song out with Fire Mage probably next week. Um, so yeah, be on the lookout for our new single.
Um, would I be able to talk to you again once you have the next album out, or you do the next big thing, or you have a big
Of
announcement?
course, yeah, of
Okay,
course. Just drop me a message and I'll be honored. This was really
okay.
cool.
And thank you for being patient with the scheduling and everything, and thank
Well,
you for
thank you.
talking to me.
You know, thank you for having me. I'm super happy to talk about, you know, the stuff I do, and I know I go on for quite a bit with some answers. I really like, you know, to talk and to tell stories. But thank you for listening and for, you know, for taking the time to to care.
Well, I hope you have a good rest of your night, and I'll probably be putting this video up tomorrow.
Okay, all right, I mean, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Have
Have a
a
good
good
night.
night. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.